What's up, guys? What is going on, prospecting powerhouses? I hope you guys are doing amazing today. Sorry for being a little late. I made a little boo-boo and went live in the wrong group. These things happen. It's all good. We're now live in the right group in the powerhouses. We're here today with Philip Caillavet for Casual Friday and Friday feature. Phil, what's going on, my man? Happy to have you here.
What is happening? Thank you very much for having me, man. This is I watch these all the time, and very honored to be asked to come on and share a little bit, man. Thank you.
Absolutely, man. I'm really excited to have you on here. For anyone that doesn't know who Phil Caillavet is, what the hell are you doing? No, I'm just kidding. You got to know Phil. The dude is an absolute beast of a marketer, a close friend of mine as well. We've become quite close over the last, like 2 years now, Phil?
Yeah.
Somewhere like that.
2 years, bro.
Time flies, goes so quickly. Phil is a really, really smart business person, really great marketer, great person overall. And he's going to drop a lot of good value here today from his car. Hell yeah, that's what's up. So right. I'm here today in the Casual Friday sphere. Anyone wondering, Miami Heat? Yes. Big Miami Heat fan. Hope you guys are enjoying this. If you're watching today, guys, give us the loves. We're all about those. You can do the likes and the laughs if you want. We don't really care. If you engage with us, you know the deal. The more opportunity we're going to have for you guys. If you have any questions during this call, whether it's for Phil, for myself, put it in there. Put it in the comments. Let us know where you're watching from. Communicate with us. We're here to have a good time. That's what this is all about, guys. There's 3 people watching right now, and there's only 1 like. Come on, y'all. Put them down. I know you're here. All right, let's dive in.
Yeah, at least like the shades.
Yeah, come on. He's wearing the shades. I'm wearing the hat, the shades. It's Casual Friday. We're all hanging out, right? We're supposed to be having a good time here today. So, guys, we're going to be talking about mostly probably some marketing ideas. We're going to chit-chat a little bit, talk about some recent developments in the marketing sphere, see what's hot and new, the shiny object. So for anyone that doesn't know Phil, first thing I want to mention here is Phil was the first prospecting on demand member, legitimately the first prospecting on demand member. And I kind of want to give you guys a really small snippet or story behind this so you can understand the type of person that Phil is, because this is how we became friends. Now, honestly, I don't even remember how Phil and I got connected initially, probably through something Dave Rogan-Moser related, I guess, somewhere in that niche, I'd say, somewhere online, something happened. We connected. We had a good rapport immediately. And I was just getting started on prospecting on demand. And I asked some people that I knew in the industry that maybe could utilize some of my methods, but more so that would be willing to invest in me and my idea and what I had to offer, not necessarily the product, because I didn't have the product yet. When I came to Phil originally, I told him, look, I have this idea. This is what I want to accomplish. I want to do this, that, and the other, and I really care, and I'm very passionate about helping people. And he's like, I want to see you do that. So Phil invested in my idea, in me, not just prospecting on demand. Yes, he was the first member, but what prospecting on demand is now and what it was when I spoke to Phil in the first time, they're not comparable. What we had then was 1 video and me, and now there's hundreds of videos and all of the great community and this free group that we have now and all of that. Not only did Phil invest in it, he also was like, do you even have a microphone to utilize for your videos? He actually sent me this blue microphone that I still use today because it's a freaking great microphone. Why not? So that's the type of person Phil is. He's a caring person, a giving person, and he's here today to drop some value for you guys, to help you guys out. We're not selling anything here today. We are not really pitching anything at all. We're here just to talk about marketing, have a good time, and hopefully grow together, because that's what this is all about. That's what we're all about. So with that being said, guys, we're going to dive in here with some initial questions. So Phil, the first thing that I would like you to kind of share with the powerhouses is kind of the process of how you got started in the marketing world, because you have kind of a unique story. You worked in the corporate world, was very successful, and then you decided that you kind of want to shift into another revenue stream and a different business model. So can you share with us kind of that process?
Yeah, man. Gosh, it all started probably 7 years ago now. I was in the corporate world. Actually, that's a little bit longer than that, 8, 9 years ago. I was been working my way up in the corporate world. I was a very young consultant in the oil and gas game. And then I got to the point of, I like to have fun. And basically I decided I needed to find another way to get out of the 9-to-5 job area. So I naturally started looking at stuff online, have some friends. I got heavily into the network marketing world. Still, receiving residual checks to this day. A lot of what I do now has spawned off of that, because I figured all this marketing knowledge, online marketing knowledge that I was learning in that world to do lead generation and whatnot, why can't I bring those same aspects or those same programs to brick and mortar businesses? I'm big USA guy, born and bred, and I really like to give back to to small businesses. That was my number one goal, to be able to give back to small businesses, help them stay out and get online, get more customers, and at the same time give, and I was gonna receive. So basically jumped into that, had really good stuff with network marketing, then decided, hey, it was probably a year and a half ago that I said, hey, I'm gonna just stop doing this individually with a person, like person to person. I'm just gonna really take it on as an agency and start bringing it to businesses. And a lot of people, some of the tricks that I knew, they thought it was magic and they thought it was witchcraft, some of the stuff like we were doing as far as like retargeting is concerned. And I really came in with this attitude of, I need to change 9 to 5. Me and my wife have been trying to have a kid for 7 years now at this time. And nothing was to happen. I needed to get rid of stress. There were some things that we needed to change. So basically, this was going to be our method to do that, and dove in hard with this no take shit attitude of go, and then figure it all out. When it came to fruition. So that's kind of how the agency got started,
I love that, man. It's such a unique story because I think a lot of people can resonate with it on multiple different levels, whether it's, wanting to achieve, the amazing opportunity to be a father, right? Which, by the way, Phil is now. His profile picture is one of my favorites. Yes. There is the remix. I love that little photo. It's amazing. But, the opportunity to be a dad in the first place. So many people want that. I really want that. It's one of my huge goals in my life. And I'm trying to build my business in order to make that happen, just like Phil wanted to, right? Or there's people that are working in the corporate world that want to figure out how to bring this into their own entrepreneurial pursuits. It's a very unique story. And I'm always looking for similarities in people's stories because the reality is we're all humans. We're all trying to get, very similar things, all trying to achieve fulfillment and happiness and success and certain goals. And when you hear someone else's success story, it's not there to be boastful. It's there to inspire you to see if someone else can do it. You could probably model it as well. Now, we're not saying to copy and paste what Phil's done or what I've done or what anyone else has done. It's use this to your advantage. Take advantage of what we're talking about here today, and then go out there and make your own success. Utilize what we're talking about and start growing your own business, start making things happen. So what I want to dive into now, Phil, is a couple, topics in regards to marketing that I get questions on a lot. And I think it's always good to kind of bring these up in these lives to see how people kind of handle different situations. Like I've asked this question to, John Davey, to Shane Simmons that we've had on, similar these types of Danny Viega, these similar questions to kind of see how different people's minds think, where someone will eventually find what's going to work best for them. And I think that's going to be awesome. I really think that's important to discuss. So let's get started here by first talking about niching. You and I both know very well about niching. You and I have had hundreds of hours of conversation just on this topic alone about how important it is so that it helps our prospecting, our sales systems, our marketing. Everything is easier when you understand the niche well. Now, here's the thing. No one disputes that niching is profitable. No one disputes that, specializing in industry is better for your company. But the main problem that I see is the niche that people choose. The one I'm seeing all the time is people want to dive immediately into white collar businesses where there's all these hoops to jump through, the doctors and the lawyers and et cetera. I would love to hear from your scenario. What's the best niche that you've worked in, both in the idea that it's been the easiest to deliver results for them, but also that's been easy to just get them as clients in the first place?
Home services.
Home services.
In my opinion, just any kind of home services, anything that has to do with the home. People, are always going to have a house. They're always going to have problems with a house, and they want to have their problems fixed immediately so they can, provide shelter and lights and rodent-free areas for their families. So it's always, I look at it to the point of niching down as like, what is someone going to need 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now? Is something going to come along that completely wipes out a niche? There's a lot of those that could happen to. Home services, not going to happen. People need them on the regular, daily. They're on Facebook. They see something. They're searching. Google is in existence specifically for probably, advertising when it comes to home services, I would say, if you really look at it, because people are wanting their problems fixed now. And the majority of the problems in the United States and in the world has to do with your home.
Absolutely. I think that's a really good one. I like home services a lot. Best prospecting tip I can give someone for home services, two things. Go on Groupon. Any home service that's offering Groupon, their Groupon for their whatever service off, like a percentage off, that probably means they're in desperate need of lead generation, meaning you have an opportunity to get in front of them and show them what you can do to help their business grow. Great opportunity. Another one is also Thumbtack and Houzz, Houzz. Both of those, or all three of those websites, detail contractors online that are looking for these types of services, meaning they have a business that people need, just like Phil's talking about, but they're struggling with the lead gen, which allows people like Phil to come in there and say, look what we've done for these other companies. We can help you really grow. On top of that, Phil, and I'm sure you would agree with this, you can also afford the services too, right?
Exactly right. They have to be able to afford the services. And, naturally in home services, you're going to have the people that are just the fly by night. They're the guy driving around with a lawnmower in the back of his truck, mowing lawns and stuff. That's not really your ideal customer. If it's your uncle or something, you could probably throw him a bone and help him out a little bit, but that's kind of not who we're talking about. And to segue onto some of that stuff, in regards to lead generation for your agency, we utilize all those home advisor, Thumbtack stuff, and we're able to piggyback on their customers
100%.
To bring them away, because ultimately what we did is we took home. Angie's List too. We took Angie's List and we took Home Advisor and we went to the reviews page from people putting reviews on how bad they suck or how shitty they are, how their leads are. We took those and we created that's like our pain points. That's what the pain points that the market or the industry is having. So what we did is we took every one of those points and we did a rebuttal on how we can fix it and how we can make it better. And actually even got a hold of their pricing list. So what they price out their leads for to every single industry or every single subgroup within Home Advisor. And
it's amazing.
Whenever you can come in and undercut by 50% cost, as well as exclusivity. If you keep exclusivity in your vocabulary everywhere, you're going to go, that's going to go far. That would be the one word that I would make sure you put in your vocabulary starting today. Exclusive.
I love that. And guys, you could see Phil just dropped like 30 nugget bombs on the home services niche in 20 seconds. The reason why is because he's so well versed in it, because he specialized in it in his company. So he's done all the research necessary to really understand the pain points, to really understand the pricing, to understand their business model, to understand who needs it and when they need it, where they're struggling, how to get them, how to prospect to them, and how to fulfill for them. That's why specializing is important, because Phil knows everything that needs to be done. If he writes it all down and shares it with someone else in his company, they could just handle it. And now he could go focus on his next niche that he wants to specialize in. And that's how you can continue to grow your agency, by really understanding your business. Sam, by the way, commented, he said, robots and Skynet are taking over home services. You just have to accept it. Damn you, Sam! You're right on that one. We got to avoid the.
Hey, but I'm from the future, so I do have some insight on what's going to happen. So.
Oh God, Terminator is coming. All right, so let's move on here from the niches. Let's talk about something that I think everyone wants to resonate with, and I think it's a question that people get a little nervous to answer, but I think vulnerability is important. So I want to hear from yourself. What do you think is the biggest mistake you've made in your business so far?
I would say growing too fast. At the beginning, I just had that mentality of that go for no mentality. Get out there, talk to as many people as I can. I didn't have any I don't have any real processes, and I just basically took on everything. So I wasn't like that was my biggest mistake, is doing that and taking on everything, just being a yes man at the very beginning of it. Look, naturally, you're not going to want to give up $1,000 retainer.
Yep.
You're going to just say, yeah, I can do it. Yeah, I can do it. Yeah, I can do it. And doing that, yeah, I got up to, I think we did $50,000 in monthly recurring revenue by month 2.
Wow.
Yeah, 2 months. It took us 2 months to get to $50,000 in recurring revenue.
And you think, though, that you went too fast in doing that because did it fall apart? Did the retention not last?
It was me. It was just me. I had a couple of guys that, like, we decided all at the same time, hey, you're good. I was a traffic guy. You're good at traffic. You're good at funnels. You're good at SEO. Let's kind of get together and make a little mob. Like we started the digital mobsters. But we all, even though we were a collective, we were all still doing our own thing. Even though I was a traffic guy, my first big hits were in SEO. I didn't know shit about SEO other than you need to get on the first page or you're fucking buried. You know,
exactly.
But I could talk, and I pride myself in being well versed in a lot of different things, so I can talk my way around things, and I'm not afraid to say, hey, look, I don't want to lie to you. This is a great thing. So drop this down. Look, I don't want to lie to you, but I can find that out for you. Let me write that question down, and I'll get back to you with the response.
And that honesty, by the way, is so important. Vulnerability and showing that you don't know everything comes off as, oh, this guy's not just like an arrogant prick. Okay, cool. I could actually work with someone like this. Because if you go in your consultations, you're like, I know everything. I can answer every single question you have. I know literally every single thing. It can come off really aggressive in an approach that seems like very not disingenuous is the right term. It's important to listen to what Phil just said. You don't have to know everything. You just have to be willing to say, look, if I don't know something, I'll go find out the answer for you. Simple as that. Our ability now, this is not, 1960, where you can find out information instantly, faster than ever before, literally faster than ever before. We can find answers to things that is just so miraculous. And I hear it from like my father all the time, 58 years old. He only, his last 30 years of his life has had the internet, but in his first 28 years or 25 years, it wasn't a thing. So for him to find out information back then, it was like, you got to go read a book. You got to go read the newspaper, the magazine, things that take a lot longer than it does now. So not knowing everything is okay. Like you don't have to know everything. No. And definitely don't have to scale insanely fast. What would you say to someone that is kind of in that position, Phil? Like they've been, aggressively prospecting. They've got 10 clients, maybe paying them $1,000 each. They have a $10,000 a month revenue, right? A lot of people are looking to hit that goal, but now they're struggling with retention. They're struggling with time. What would you say to those people that are kind of hustling like that to slow down and kind of what would you focus on? Systems, sales, bringing on the right team?
That would be the number one right there is processes. So get your processes in order. The good thing about the one thing about niching down is that you don't have to recreate things all the time. What we did first, we niched down on a service. We started niching on service instead of an actual niche, industry. But I would say get the processes down for if you're going all over the place, if you're going to multiple niches, at least have your processes down as far as how you reach out to them, how long it's going to take you to get a proposal back to them, when you're going to follow up on the proposal. Keep that in mind. I'm going to come back to that, follow up. And also, once you get the client in, your onboarding, the days it's going to take you to set stuff up. Put a little cushion in there. In my case, I didn't have anybody to do it. I just had to basically say, okay, I got a client. Now let me go find somebody to fulfill for them. You put a little cushion in there, 2 or 3 days of being able to find that person, maybe interview 2 or 3 people that you already have on a short list. That was my big thing. And I always saw that was as one of my biggest problems or my biggest issues, hence why my agency concentrates on fulfillment for a lot of, struggling marketers that are out there. I mean, it's basically, I found.
I think one thing you said that's so critical is the idea of, like, you used to be a freelancer, essentially. You used to just be a consultant, where it's like, I'm just going to aggressively get out there. I'm good at prospecting, good at sales. I know the business is, and then you close them, you get paid, and then it's like, now what? What do we do now?
Yep.
Now you got to figure it out, and then you have your
shit.
Yeah, exactly. Your retention's like, you have the celebration for the close, and then your retention, you're struggling to even keep them for 2 months because you have no idea what the hell you're doing. So for anyone that's watching out there, that truly, be honest with yourself. Do you have a business? Do you have an agency? Most people don't. They're consultants and freelancers. Not that there's anything wrong with that. There's plenty of people that can fulfill your needs, aka Philip Caillavet, other people in this group. There's lots of people that do that. That's a new agency model called white labeling, right? It's a great model. There's a lot of people that do consultancy, and it works. No one's saying consultancy is off the table, but if you're going to do consultancy, at least take the time to create the systems. Instead of spending that hour trying to do sales or prospecting, spend that hour to create a system where you're going to find the person that you want to work with, where you're going to understand what case studies you need and what they need from you, and how long the onboarding process is, what their average retention is, what you're going to do each step of the day. Because otherwise, what happens is you bring in $10,000 to $50,000 in revenue, and you're really happy about it, and then it's all gone. All that hard work you put in can go away instantaneously because you had no systems.
It does go away. That's the biggest thing. It does go away, and it will. Because it happened to me, even though we got up to $50,000, we didn't hit 60,000 like in, from April, I think in June, we hit 60, June or July, we hit 60 grand. And by November, December, we were down to $10,000. So the biggest thing you look at is whenever you bring somebody on, plan within your process for them to leave you within 2 months. If you do not do that, then you're basically going to sit on your ass and not continue to do and put in the work to prospect and fill up that spot. You're not going to have anybody within your sales funnel to be able to do that. That's our number one goal, is to start stacking on top, stack revenue.
100%. You got to remember, it's kind of like, I'm trying to think of a good metaphor here, but imagine if you had a water bottle, and when you put a balloon, this is a good example. If you put water into a balloon, eventually the balloon will pop, right? Because you put too much water in. That's essentially what happens when you're a freelancer without systems. You're just filling up a balloon with water. Eventually it's going to pop. The bubble is going to burst because you don't have anything to hold the water in properly. You don't have a cup, a system, something that's not going to break or that can stretch to the point that you need. The idea that we're trying to bring to the table here for you guys to understand is systems are going to be the most important aspect of your business. You just have to be realistic with yourself as to what you're trying to accomplish. If you want to be a salesperson, that's great. Just find the right fulfillment team then. If you want to do prospecting but you suck at sales, team up with someone that's really good at sales and just get them the consults booked. If you want to do fulfillment, then do fulfillment, build a system, and then find the contractors that are going to get you the leads and close the leads for you. It's simple. Phil's done all three of those. He's been in all three of those facets. I've been a part of that with him before. I've helped him with sales. I've helped him with prospecting. He's helped me with fulfillment. We've done all three of them together. And the only reason that we've been able to be successful together is because there's systems behind it. It's not random. We're having a process to do these things so we can grow. And if you don't have that process, you can't grow. All right, so that was biggest mistake. I think that was really valuable. And I think we have a couple more minutes here. Phil, what do we got, about 10, 15?
I can probably hit I've got 25 minutes or so, 20 minutes.
Perfect. Okay, awesome. So basically, the next question that I want to know is, we went from the negative first, the biggest mistake. What's your biggest win?
The same damn thing. Growing too fast, man. Because basically what it did, by taking on multiple things, multiple niches, diving in there, learning, school of hard knocks, like I said before, I'm well-rounded. Now I have that experience. I have the experience to know that if something comes along, now I can say, nope, I'm on the next one. So that's kind of been a big thing for me, is knowing that what I did from the get-go, even though it turned out to be the mistake that I made, I've actually learned from it, and and I've been there before, and now I'm going to utilize that as like a springboard to not ever have it happen to me again,
I love that.
and get well above and beyond that for sure.
I love that. I love that so much, guys. Please listen to what Phil just said and keep this in mind. And I made an article about LeBron James the other week about exactly what Phil just said. And I'm not going to bring that up. If you want to check it out, go into my Facebook, go to the last post a couple weeks ago, you'll find it. But essentially it's about failing forward, right? So like you can go fast and break stuff. That's a terminology of one of our close friends that over at EA Entrepreneur Alliance. And I like that. I think that's cool. Like just attack things, learn from it and be aggressive, but you have to learn from the things that you make mistakes on. If you're not, then those are true failures. There's no such thing as failing if you're going to learn from it, because at the end of the day, everyone fails. Every single person ever has failed, ever. It's without a question, it has to happen. It's part of the process towards success. You can't magically have 100% success rate all the time. That's impossible. No one has ever done that in the history of any niche, vertical sector of business or life ever. Everyone fails, but you decide what happens when you fail. You can either have the attitude of Phil that's saying, my biggest win is also my biggest mistake, because I learned from this mistake that I made and it made me have the biggest win of my life, which is having a successful business now, having the kid I wanted to have, having the finances I need to live the life I want to live, right? That is insanely powerful mindset. And all it is mindset. Phil is speaking that into existence. He could have chose anything else. He could have said, my biggest win was closing a $200,000 client. He didn't say that though. He said his biggest win was learning from his biggest mistake. What are you doing from your biggest mistakes? Be honest with us right now. Are you sitting down on your couch and, sulking with a bottle of wine? That's cool. I'm not saying that you can't do that. Phil and I probably have done that a couple times. We're cool with that. But I'm saying when you get over the sulking period, does it just dread on you? Is it just failure? Or have you learned from it? Have you changed something in your business to avoid that scenario happening again? That's why that's so critical. Failing forward is so important. And I love that you brought that up because I think it's just absolutely critical. Let's talk about some other prospecting type things that I get some questions on. We'll do a couple rapid fire ones and then move into some other related topics. One thing that I get asked all the time, and I guess you get this asked all the time if you're providing fulfillment for contractors, is the idea of case studies, right? And free trials. Yeah. So let's talk about both of these. And I think when you and I first spoke, that was where my initial process with you was, right? I wanted help with fulfillment and I wanted help with case studies. And, at the time, I didn't think I needed case studies to close, but no one can deny that having previous results make it easier to close, right? Now, what's your thought process, first of all, on having case studies? Do you think personally that you need a case study to close? And if you don't need a case study to close, or if you do, how do you get them? What is your thought process on this for someone new in the industry? Obviously.
For someone new in the industry, look, it's industry nomenclature that's out there that people put out. Hey, get a case study, lean on it, blah blah blah. We're in a world of non-disclosures. So kind of that's what I do is I because since I do a lot of white labeling. My contracts are kind of, they're very non-disclosure. So I kind of lean on that a little bit.
Very good.
Me personally, I've never utilized not one time a case study to close a deal. Never. I have them available simply because people are visual learners. So I like, I'm a big financial modeler. I can sit there and talk numbers and show you your ROI and show, really, really fast. And most people like to be able to see that out on a page. Yeah. At the very beginning, I had the weird notion of what I did is, I knew what I was going to be doing. So I leaned on my fulfillment team to produce, some case studies or some numbers. I've even gone as far as pulling another case study off the internet. I don't condone that in any way anymore. It's basically just to give me an idea of what I needed how I needed them to look, how I needed them to get to getting across to the client. But I always lean on the non-disclosure, but I also say the case studies that I'm going to give you or that you're requesting, you think I'm going to give you a bad case study? I'm going to give you the most shiny freaking case study that I have. And you're now going to go into our relationship with a false sense of security and expectation. And if I do, let's say I still get you a 50% return on investment, but I don't get you 100 or 1,000% return on investment that I did for somebody else, you're going to think I'm a piece of shit. But I got you a 50% return on your investment. You know, so it's all about setting like the mindset. I'm a huge Star Wars fan, and I believe wholeheartedly in Jedi mind tricks.
Yes.
And you can do that. You can do that to your clients, especially if you're dealing with someone that knows nothing about what you're doing. All they care about, I started doing something today. I stopped talking about ROI just recently. I stopped talking about ROI. I stopped talking about click-through rates. I stopped talking about cost per clicks. None of that shit comes out of my mouth anymore. It's fucking leads, sales, and customers. That's it. That's the three words that come out of my mouth for everything. They don't give a shit how you do it.
Technobabble ain't going to do anything for you. All they care about, like Phil said, leads, clients, customers, money in the bank.
And sales.
They do not give a crap about how you get it done. Like the other day, someone was talking to me. They're like, well, Alex, do I tell them about the strategy that I'm doing? Like, no, who cares about the strategy? They don't care about the strategy. If this was like Harry Potter land and you were sending owls to people's houses to get leads from, but it was working, do you think they would give a shit? They wouldn't care. They'd be like, this is a really weird way of marketing, but hey, I guess it works, right? Like owls, sending owls.
That's a pretty good idea. That's a pretty good idea, bro.
Got to train some owls like ravens in Game of Thrones style. But like they don't care. They only care about what the end result's going to be. And that's what you need to be utilizing in your sales. So what Phil is saying also, framing the conversation, so important. Frame the conversation. You're controlling it. If they ask you for a case study, you got the NDA backing. You've got the opportunity to ask people, obviously, in your networks and your groups for case studies if necessary. But I think the best one is what Phil said. The idea that, hey, if I give you a case study, you think I'm going to give you a bad one? Obviously, I'm going to give you the best one. There's no guarantees here, but I know what we're doing. Simple as that. You got to trust me and believe me on this.
Rebut it fast like that, and then go straight to a question. What do you really want? That's my number one question. My number one question is, what do you really want? We're talking all this bullshit here. I only have 5 minutes. Sorry, I got 27 more calls to go with 24 hours in a day. So give me in one sentence, what do you want? And then whenever you tell me what you want, I'm going to tell you how I'm going to get it for you. And if you don't like how, how long it's going to take or how I'm going to get it for you, then we'll just start separate ways.
Exactly.
Deal.
When you have that confidence that Phil's talking about right there, you can't lose. It's impossible. It's literally impossible to lose. And I don't mean losing by, they can't get off the call. Of course, that's the case. I'm talking about in your long term. You can't lose with that attitude because eventually people resonate with that attitude significantly. Like, okay, I get this. This guy's the real deal. If you went into the doctor's office and the doctor's like bending over every beck and call you have, and it seems like there's no one else in the office at all, and he's like trying to get you to purchase things, you'd be kind of weirded out about that. You'd be like, what is going on here? But instead, what happens at a doctor's office, they're framed the conversation. First, the assistant comes in or the nurse comes in. Then when he comes in, he has 5 minutes and he's so busy that day and he tells you these 3 things that you have to do. You don't question him. You listen to him because he has the authority right away. You don't ask him to pay, in a month from now. You don't ask him for a free trial. You pay them.
Fuck free trials.
Exactly. Fuck free trials, guys. Please. I spoke to someone today.
Nobody likes working for free. Nothing's free, really. Nothing is free because it's going to be free for them, but it's going to cost you, but then they're going to expect some free shit all the time. I gave out a client $10,000 in free advertising.
And he was bitching. That was our client together. He was bitching.
Exactly. So that's one of me and Alex's clients. I'm like, bro, you had 3 record-breaking months.
We've had him for almost a year. Almost a year now we've had him, and we've been dealing with that crap. We're giving so much free information to help, and then you're still bitching after 1 bad month. So this is the idea to understand. You start with a free trial. You're starting your relationship off on a bad note, on a really bad note.
You're devaluing yourself, man, completely.
It's terrible. I don't get why people do it so much. They feel like that's their only scenario to be successful, and that hurts, man, because that's not the case. It's not the case. All right, let's continue here.
Real quick, let me just segue into something about the hustle. All right, like if the confidence.
You're good. You got muted.
I practiced it.
There we go.
I got on the phone with a shitload of people. And
your volume is really low. Volume's real low. See if we can fix that. And basically what we're talking about now, Phil's bringing up in regards to hustling and how to, make sure that you're going to be successful in the long run, because you don't want to kind of drag yourself into a position that you're always going after free trials. You're always kind of conceding to these clients. You got to have a good system behind it. If you don't have a good system behind it, it's going to be an absolute disaster. Really tough to be successful if you don't have a system. Phil just jumped off for a second. He's going to jump back on here in a sec. So don't worry about that. But guys, I think, the best thing I could say here for everyone that's listening is don't concede to everything that your clients wants to do. Understand the value you're offering, understand your services, understand what's good that you're going to provide for these people. It's really important to be able to do that. If anyone has any questions, now is the right time. I know, Manuel, you said you wanted to know what home services Phil is targeting. I'm pretty sure he's focusing on companies that do like window replacement, carpet replacement, tile, roof repair, all that stuff, all that goodies. But yeah, I mean, what are you guys thinking of this call? Let me know if you guys are still watching. Throw in the comments here below what you guys feel about this. And guys, later today, I do believe that we're going to have a Casual Friday chat. If you want to join us, we're going to be able to do that. Phil's coming back on here right now. Hey-o. What's up?
Can you hear me all right now?
We can hear you, brother. All right. Don't worry. I explained everything to everyone of what was going on. So you were talking about hustle. Feel free to continue.
Yeah, hustle. All right. So cool thing is I didn't get this confidence just yesterday. It was basically like I practiced and practiced and practiced. I got on the phone. I became different people. I tried different things out. That's why now you could say you close 50%. You close 50% of the people you talk to. I'll beat your ass all day long. Because you're going to talk to 10 people and you're going to, let's say, close 5 of them. But my close percentage, like just LA'd, relaxed, skipping over people is just 10%. And I talk to 100 fucking people. So I just closed 10 people. I closed 10 people.
I really feel like there's so much to be said, Phil, about like the attitude you have, like the confidence and attitude you have, the bravado. I think it adds so much to it. Like I would say, and would you agree with me here? Some people get turned off by like the passion that you and I both have. Very few people, though. The commonality, though, is most people enjoy that because they can see that we care and like what we're doing, which makes it easier for them to want to invest in us and our idea. Because what they're doing, guys, when they're joining your company or Philip's company or my company or joining Prospecting on Demand or whatever it is, you're investing your business, your future, your ideas, your marketing company, your entrepreneurship in us, in you. So you got to make sure that you trust that person. And that type of passion and confidence comes off in a great way. Now, sometimes some people rubs the people the wrong way, but I'd say that's less than 10% of the people. Less than. And
that's 10. People that that's people that you don't want to work with anyways. They're gonna be a bitch to you anyways. 100%. I remember 2 words. Remember these 2 words. And I do a lot of stuff. I'm a big, huge movie buff and stuff, and I watch a lot of TV. But old Saturday Night Live skit with David Spade as a flight attendant. And every time somebody asked him something or kind of going against what he was saying, he would go, bye-bye. That's it. Remember that. Bye-bye. And hang up the fucking phone. You don't have to talk to this person. On to the next one. You could have wasted 27 minutes explaining yourself to somebody that's going to say no. And in that amount of time, I could have left 40 voicemails.
Man, I used to do that like crazy on my sales. Oh my God. I used to know like in the first 10 minutes that the person wasn't going to fit. And yet I'd find myself on the call for 45 minutes, literally an extra 30 minutes of my time. And I know I would hate it. And then I would get off the call and there's Shira, my wife, looking at me like, what the fuck are you doing? Why were you on that call for that long? I'm like, don't even tell me. I already know. It took me, several calls to really get to the idea of being able to say, look, I can tell already that we're not going to be a good fit here. Here's my best piece of advice for you so you can be kind and polite. And I appreciate the time. On to the next. And that's it. You don't have to accept every single client. Awesome. You don't have to work with every single person, and no one is going to make or break your business. Have the confidence to feel that you're going to be able to close clients, bring on new leads, bring on new opportunities. Do not concede for everything, because if you concede even a little bit, it's just going to make your life so much damn harder in the long run.
Perfect.
All right, Phil. So let's continue here. I want to ask you a question that I know you're excited about here. Something I ask everyone that joins our Friday features, and that is in regards to your favorite marketing books. People love filling their faces with information, stuffing their mouths with books, you know, classic Russell Brunson Expert Secrets, just chewing their faces off with some really good books. What's your favorites? Do you have any favorites that you'd recommend?
Well, first off, I hate Russell Brunson. But no, I'm just kidding. Yeah, man. First off, there's I have a book that I kind of keep with me as an agency Bible, and I guarantee everybody get it, because one thing is, like, you can read a book all day long, but it's how you apply it to your business. There's a gentleman that his name is Paul Roetzer, and he was the big dick in PR. When PR was the big stuff, and before going into digital. And he was one of the first ones that said he saw where this was going with the internet and whatnot, and he started a digital agency, digital marketing agency. He was one of the first. He has a book. It's actually, I have it right here. I keep this with me, and you can just utilize it in multiple different ways. It's called Marketing Agency Blueprint.
Hell yeah.
Get the shit, dude. It is unbelievable. So it's a handbook for building a hybrid PR, SEO, content, advertising, and web firm.
Hell
and
yeah,
it's basically awesome. it's a knockdown drag out for a really good marketing book. So that's you can use it and apply.
That's awesome. And I've also never heard of that. So that's great, because I literally hear the same ones every single week. Tim Ferriss's 4-Hour Workweek, Russell Brunson's Expert Secrets, and then the next question. So thank you for changing it up.
So, and I read a lot. I like podcasts quite a bit. So if you're in the podcast, you have an agency and you want to go places and you want to look at scaling, because you have to plan, even though you don't feel like you're ready to scale yet, you have to start planning to scale or planning. I'm planning to sell. That's my biggest thing now. So I listen to, God dang, it just flew on my head. Jason
Hornung?
No, Jason Hornung's a really good friend of mine.
He's a great Facebook ads guy.
Yeah, and what he said some stuff. He kind of went off on Gary Vee yesterday. Basically, like, you don't have to work 15 fucking hours a day or 16 hours a day to get what you want. I don't. You don't have to be hustling your face off. You know, that's my biggest thing is everybody's going to be different. You know, I like Gary Vee's his what he talks about and whatnot, but yeah. Oh, Jason Swank. God dang, I don't know how I lost.
Yeah, he's got some good ads on Facebook too. He had a great one.
Jason Swank is great.
He had a Darth Vader ad a couple months back, and I was dying of laughter looking at that ad. So damn funny. He really understands digital marketing and agencies.
He does an agency, because he sold his agency. So awesome. we do a lot of our stuff off of a lot of his stuff too. But as far as let me go with a couple more books that you need to have. I'm pretty sure everybody understands when it comes to why you're doing this. Simon Sinek's, Start With Why. That's a really good one.
Of course.
But to get the mentality that I have, one of the first things that start me off with the confidence to get out there and not be scared. What's the word? Are they going to come through the phone and stab you in the fucking throat? No, they're not. So there's a book called Go for No, and it's called Go for No, and it's by Andrea Waltz and Richard Finner, and it's basically like how you just go to get the no's. You want somebody to say no. You're like, you start your day off with, yeah, man, I want 20 people to tell me no, because then you're going to be able to figure out your own personal conversion rates of, damn, it took me 20 people to get to one yes, and that one yes made me $1,000. So now 20 divided by 1,000 is $50. Every no that I get tomorrow is going to be worth fucking $50 to me. How much am I going to, I'm going to start putting imaginary Monopoly money, get fucking Monopoly money, use it. It works.
I love that. I think
that's
something
a good one. And
I want to mention this before we continue because I don't want to forget this. Phil, as I said, he's part of POD, and we'll talk about that before we close out. But in Prospecting on Demand, he made a post. It was about a month and a half ago. And there was a couple posts in the group at that time of people like struggling with no's and struggling with taking action. And that's what we're all about, right? Like, yeah, you can do like Sebastian just said here on the comments. He's like, you know, a Gary Vee video said the other day, like, stop reading books, stop watching videos, like take action, which we all understand. Like taking action is the first step. That's what Phil's talking about, starting with no, just like taking action, take the no's and get to the yes. Like that's what we're saying. But Phil wrote this awesome post about like the gun to your head mentality. And it's obviously morbid and over the top, and it's not like that, but it's just a metaphor to understand where we're
It was late night.
Yeah, it was right. It was like a midnight post, right? And essentially what it was like, if you had to accomplish something and there was a gun behind your head, would you be making the excuses that you're making now? Would you be accepting no's and allowing yourself to feel dreary about it? Would you be, wasting your time on Facebook, or would you be making things happen? And the answer is, of course, you'd be making things happen. When your life is on the line, things are a lot different. What Phil and I are trying to mention to you is not your life's not on the line every single second, but if you have that mentality that you must be able to do this, to take action, if that's what's going to motivate you, then make it happen. Start attacking it. Start making things happen. Start taking action, because the longer that you waste, the more time you waste, the more frustration and anxiety that will build inside of you, the harder it will become to overcome it. Just take action, guys. Take action and start finding the success that you deserve. And celebrate
your wins too. That's a big thing.
Hell yes.
Everybody don't have a fucking pity party. You can't go to Hallmark and they don't make pity party cards.
Yeah, exactly.
Happy pity party day. They don't do that stuff. So why should you focus any of your life that we have so short of on that? On the negative aspects of things. There's always a win in something. Start kind of focusing on that, and give yourself short little term goals to reach. Everybody wants the $1 million goal, or doing these long-term goals. Do a lot of short-term goals that you can win, that that you're going to be able to, just to get your mind in the win mode. Hey, I'm winning even though you knew you were going to kill it, beat it. At least it's a win. It's a win in your book. So,
and the way that I do that, so everyone knows, I write down my wins. I write down when I get a new client, when I get a new opportunity. I have it on my goal board, and I change the number every time. And that allows me to celebrate my wins. And I think that's really important. Now, we've been here for about an hour, so let's ride out here. Let's finish this off with the classic.
Hey, one second. I got one book or two books that everybody has to get.
Hit me.
War of Art by Stephen Pressfield, and One Thing by Gary Keller. Read those books. It will fucking change your life. Both of those. If they don't, let me know. I'll send you $100.
Phil with the $100 challenge for anyone that reads the book and doesn't change your life. Get it. Make it happen. All right, guys, we're going to end this off by talking a little bit about prospecting on demand here. I kind of want to get an idea from Phil as to kind of the people that are thinking about joining to create systems and being part of our family and mastermind. Phil, what would you say to someone that's considering joining Prospecting on Demand but hasn't made that leap of faith yet?
Man, I get this question so much because I'm so heavily in, a lot of the talk with you and whatnot. And I preach it. I basically let everybody know, look, if you're struggling in this area, you have to contact Alex Schlinsky. You have to get in Prospecting on Demand, because first off, it is not theoretical in any shape or form. This is shit that has been done and done and done and done. And the reason why it keeps on getting done and done and done is because it fucking works. All right? If you get out there and do it and get in module 1 and engross yourself, you know what I like to do? I like to go through every module. I don't go through them. I go through them and I click on play. And then I press pause and see how long that video is. I write it down. I go to the next one, and I go through the entire fucking thing, and I know, hey, this is going to take out 10 hours of my life. But if I take if I take these directions and I put them into play, it's a $10 million course, bro.
I love it.
I'm gonna keep using this shit, man. I'm gonna keep using this shit till the rest of my days. And the cool thing is that I trust it so much that I let Alex do it for me
Whoop,
a lot of
whoop.
the times too, you know, and that's just a big, I'll always be behind this course. And with just his vision, I invested money in his vision simply because I believed that I saw the hole in the market or the hole in the industry and where this dude was going to fucking take it.
I appreciate that so much, Phil, and I'm always indebted to you for doing that, man. I always appreciate it. Those original founders, shout out to Lee Turner, Tina Sibley, Desi Harris, a couple of you guys. Appreciate you all also investing in me early on. Chris Down, also you're in there. I appreciate it, my friends. Guys, this was a lot of fun. I hope you learned a lot today. I hope you are going to take action. If you learn anything from this call, take action, have confidence, and be a part of a mentorship or a community that's going to help you grow, whether it's just prospecting powerhouses, whether it's prospecting on demand or something else altogether. But make sure you're utilizing your time appropriately. Make sure you're growing every day and learning every day. Guys, we'll see you on the next Friday feature. Phil, how can people reach out to you if they want to work with you, either for fulfillment or just chat?
The best way, I have my phone on me all the time, Messenger. If just shoot me a message on Facebook. That's the greatest way. Friend request me, please. I mean, I try to spit mad knowledge whenever I can, or I'm gonna let you know when there's some bullshit that's out there too. I'm gonna let that be known.
Love it.
But yeah, just shoot me a message, friend request. That's cool. Or I mean, I don't really like the whole website thing because I'm not a corporate guy. That's one thing when you're reaching out to people. Stop being freaking corporate. Stop being business. That shit's fucking 10 years ago. 100%. Nobody wants to deal with that shit.
No
a one sentence, 2 sentence voicemail goes way further than I'm Philip Caillavet. I'm from, who gives a shit where you're from? Just tell them who your name is, what's your number, and you got something you have to talk to them about. Call me back.
Love it.
Blah, blah, blah. All right.
Love it, man.
With that, man. Thank you very much. Thanks for having me, brother. I appreciate it, man.
It was great fun, man. I appreciate it a lot. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this chat. Hope you had a good time. We'll see you guys on the next one.
Peace.